So I'd like to call the Royal Oak Animal Shelter Committee meeting to order. Let's do a quick roll call. Who's taking minutes today?
I am.
Thank you, Eileen. Andrew Steffes, Royal Oak, Michigan, present. Dawn?
Dawn Rapinski, Royal Oak, Michigan, present.
Liz?
Liz Rivard Weston, Royal Oak, Michigan.
Travis?
Travis Moore, Royal Oak, Michigan, present.
Eileen?
Eileen Zako Krupa, Royal Oak, Michigan, present.
And then DC, Jody, I don't know if we have to do that for you guys or not. I think, okay.
Nope, we're here.
All right, so I'd like to call this meeting to order.
Drew, could I have a clarification regarding Leslie, Ashley? Did she say she isn't coming?
I will check right now. I thought that was the last meeting she couldn't attend.
Right, okay, that's okay.
And don't forget about Shar either.
And Shar is not here because she's on a holiday, I believe.
Shar. Oh, yes, I know who you mean. Yes, thank you. Shar is, okay.
Commissioner Douglas.
Yeah, I don't have any info on Jody offhand, or not Jody, sorry, Ashley.
Okay.
So we will proceed and determine if she can make it or not, I guess, later in the meeting.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if we have anyone in the chat. Let's see if we got anyone for public comment.
Ashley just joined us.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Ashley, can you just say your name, city, and just say that you're present for roll call? You're on mute.
Okay, Ashley Jericho, and I am in Royal Oak, Michigan.
Annie, you've got to move, Annie.
All right. Thanks, Ashley. I think we're all set. So there is nobody in the waiting queue for public comment. So I would like to, I guess we can then probably call the meeting to order. I guess 7 o'clock, 7:02. I think that needs to be seconded or motioned.
I so move. I second. What? First, second.
I'm
I'm confused. I don't know. I didn't think we used to do that vote.
Oh, we don't?
I thought
Okay.
it just started.
You don't have to
All
vote.
right. All right.
And
All
I
right.
think you called it to order before we did attendance. Like we are meeting officially.
Okay. Okay. So we just do it at the end. Okay, great. So then I guess at this point we can then move to approve the Feb 18 minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Liz.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ashley. All in favor? I
I
guess
think you have to do roll call.
so I'm in favor. Travis?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Liz?
Yes.
Dawn?
Dawn, you're muted.
Yes.
Eileen?
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everyone. All right, moving on. I'd like to do an approval of the March 18th agenda.
Motion to approve.
Thanks,
I
Travis.
second.
Thanks, Dawn. All right.
Dawn was first.
No, Travis was first. I seconded the motion.
Thank you.
All right. I'm all in favor. So Dawn,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
Eileen,
Yes.
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Ashley.
Yes.
All right. I think I got everybody. I think we're all in favor there then. Thanks, everyone. I think we can jump into the staff reports. Jody.
Hey everybody, how are you? So
It's
no
late
real,
outside.
yay.
I'm ecstatic.
No real change on the number of animals. We still have 3 dogs in the shelter because we have a number that are in foster. Still moving forward with that beautifully, but it's a time thing. As I mentioned last month, we've got one family that's moving, and they won't be moving until I believe April. So they're doing a long-term foster until they can adopt. One of the other, a small dog that we put into foster last month, following a follow-up vet visit, found out that he's actually older than we originally thought. And is having some organ issues. So he probably is on he's probably a short termer. So I think they're going to just foster until, I have no idea what that was, but that crash was from my house. So he will probably foster until the time that he's no longer with us. If it looks like there's a change, the family will probably adopt, but it just makes it a little easier. That way, if something major happens, we can help them make a decision about what needs to happen, as opposed to them with a brand new dog having to make that decision. The cats, we have not been able to place any of them, not surprisingly. However, good news is, as of this week, 13 of them have been sterilized since last month.
Yay.
So yeah, we have a volunteer who sets up spay neuter appointments for us, and they have been just going gangbusters to get that done. We have another 12 scheduled through the end of the month. So as many of the cats as we can handle. Some of them are just not socialized and friendly enough that they can be taken in a normal, to a normal spay neuter appointment, potentially as a feral, but we're going to try to get as many in carriers, in groups as possible. So that may get us to 25, 2 dozen to 25 of the 32 that will be sterilized by the end of the month. And we already have, I believe I have 8 of them posted on the website already for placement. So that's some movement. Some of them, again, as I mentioned, we may not be able to find homes for, and we're kind of hoping the county will be able to step in because they've got more resources than we do to socialize. They can spay and neuter on site and don't have to transport. So that may be a discussion that comes up later in the meeting, but for right now, we are where we are with them. So the numbers on the report this month aren't very different, but there's stuff happening internally. I wanted to mention, was it 1 or 2 things? Let me pull up my notes here. Oh, yes. So Rescue Walk. I actually registered the shelter for Rescue Walk. I didn't want to put it up on the website until I had a chance to tell you first. All it took, and I hadn't realized this, all it took was for us to become a verified partner, rescue partner with Best Friends, which is something we could have done a while ago because all we had to do was give them the shelter reports. But so once I figured that out, and once we got that all straightened up, they have the information for the last 3 or 4 years. And so we are now a rescue partner with Best Friends, which opens us up to the opportunities for webinars and other trainings. Like I said, Rescue Walk, we're now partnered with them for Rescue Walk, so I can put that up on the website. Anybody who wants to start doing that separate from any big event that we do, or in conjunction with, we can, or I can also table that, just knowing that we have the ability at this point. We are also an affiliate with the Community Cats podcast, which I hadn't heard of until about a month or so ago. I did some research into them, and I actually attended one of their conferences online, and was blown away by actually how well done it was. So I signed us up to be affiliates. I've put that on the website. Anybody who signs up for any of their trainings and uses the code ROAS gets us a percentage of the registration fee. The next training is a 1-day for cat welfare, I believe community cat welfare. It's a $20 right now before April 1st to register, and we get a $10 gift or bonus for everybody who signs up using our affiliate code. So that's cool. And like I said, some really good seminars. So anybody who may want to look more into it on their own, that's one of the ones that I would recommend looking into. Over the weekend, I got a text and I'm going way beyond shelter report right now. I'm giving you guys all the dish here. I got a text from one of our volunteers who had somehow stumbled on a stainless steel quarantine cage setup, a 5-cage quarantine unit, the kind that they use at the vets. So 2 larger on the bottom, 3 smaller on top. And it was free. Someone was getting rid of it. It looks like it's in beautiful shape. They claimed it for us, and they will transport it. I'm hoping still this week, but potentially starting next week, which resolves the issue that we've had with MDARD about having collapsible cages in our front office. That was a big no-no for MDARD. Something that I had been able to reduce the numbers so that they were willing to kind of grit their teeth and look the other way. But it shows up on all of our reports that we had to do something about it. So at this point, we should be able to get rid of all the collapsible cages that we've been using for intake and take animals directly into the back of the shelter, of the office area. If in fact we don't need them for intake, they also will work as quarantine cages if we have any issues where we have to pull cats out of the cat room to keep them separate because of diseases. And because they're stainless, they're immediately cleanable, sterilizable. That may be the only, let me see, I have maybe one more. Oh, nope, I think I covered everything on my end. So unless anybody has any questions.
Can I ask something, please? I just went to I put the links to the 2 websites you talked about in the chat, but I am looking at the Community Cats podcast website, and there's actually an opportunity for a grant that it looks like I literally just scanned it. So it looks like it's a match program. So if the organization can raise $1,000 in 3 months, the Community Cats group will match that. So maybe that's something we should look at.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to talk about all of those opportunities. I haven't gone in depth on their stuff, just because, I'm one person.
That's okay.
And I haven't caught up on everything. But yeah, any of that stuff I'm happy to talk about.
Okay. Like I just saw it and thought I'd mention it. So no pressure.
No, but it's a good organization. I've really been happy with what I've seen there.
Hey, Jody, quick question. The cats that you were saying you're hoping county would pick up, are those like were those like the potential barn cats that you were referring to?
Potential barn cats, yes, or ones that they can spay neuter in house, or that if they've got a place, whether it's a barn or another, let's say an outdoor community, that they could be placed in as a group. We do believe that a number of these cats were probably indoor-outdoor cats, or even just outdoor cats, because when the vet's seen them, they've noticed evidence of frostbite on their ears. You don't get that with home cats.
Mm-hmm.
So chances are good that the person they came from was either collecting them, or there was a way into the house that all it took was 1 or 2 cats finding a way in, and then there was food. And because it was not a well-maintained house, there were also rodents and things. So, just shelter that they would have easily had access to.
Would does the Royal Oak Animal Shelter want to? I'm just out of curiosity. Is there a reason we wouldn't want to market them as barn cats through the Royal Oak Animal Shelter, or no?
Well, there's a lot to that. We have a couple of people who understand how to set them up so that they would go to that type of a situation and not run away and put themselves in danger. And again, I'll go back to resources, and it's not a program that we have set up yet. It's one that if we're going to do, I'd like to be prepared to do it so that we can give people good information rather than simply saying, here's a group of cats, you can take them to a barn somewhere. Although I will say, because we do have a pretty expansive volunteer network, and those people know people who know people who know people, we also try to do word of mouth networking and things like
Yeah.
that. So if we know somebody who's done it in the past, we will talk to them to please talk to their connections and
Mhm.
try to organize something, because it isn't always, we're not always able to do it going to another organization.
Sure.
Sometimes we do have to do it the other way.
Because I was going to ask if you want, like, my boss has barn cats, so I can ask if you're interested in a barn cat
Yeah.
too.
I mean, and that would be great. So if it's somebody who's done barn cats before and they know what they're doing, for instance, Jim's legislative assistant has a barn, and they have it set up with an outside pen. So when they get new cats, they bring them in for a month or two in this very large, it's like an old stable, and they've enclosed it. So the cats get to live in this stable for a month or two to decompress, get used to it. They know this is where their food is. And then once they're comfortable and they come back at feeding times, then they're given a broader area. So
Sure.
somebody who understands that it's not simply you open the door and say, okay, here's your new home, because it's new to them. They're going to not necessarily know how to, be in, to make themselves actually stick around. So yeah, but something like that, if your boss were interested in expanding, then that would be great. Or, like I said, people who do barn cats tend to know other people and other groups that do barn cats. So any of those resources that could come our way, I'd be more than happy to talk to them. That would be fabulous.
Jody,
Yes.
the last time you talked about or questioned whether or not you were going to microchip these cats.
Mhm.
And so my question to you is, the ones that are on site that you put on the website, are they microchipped?
Yeah, we've chipped all of the ones that have gone in for spay neuter,
Oh,
because if they are friendly enough to be handled, then we're going to try to get them into a home. And likewise, the ones that we can't handle, we would still encourage, even if it's we provide the microchips, since we've already sourced them at a lower rate, we can provide microchips. My preference is to have them all tracked and registered. That's the
Yeah.
way that you're going to make sure that you're controlling your population.
yes. Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. Have I talked enough? Anybody else?
You know, I just have a contact over at Macomb Community College in the vet tech program.
Okay.
Have you ever thought of, when we had, since you've already solved the problem, but having those cats there, having a tech come in and do all the shots except for the distemper, might be a nice source to that, or using a tech from North Main. We used to do that before. They would come in after 7 o'clock and do everything.
Right. Well, it's kind of a sticky wicket, because in Michigan, you're not supposed to have vet techs doing that without veterinary supervision. So we'd have to have a vet sign off on that.
That occurred.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would be the thing. I would be more than happy. And I think that would be brilliant if we could do that. I would love to also have a vet in training who could maybe come once a month or once every couple of weeks and check the cats. It would be obviously much easier than us having to take, and Eileen, having transported cats, it takes them a while to get comfortable. And if we've got a new cat who's scared and we don't necessarily want to yank them out of that cage and take them to a vet and bring them back and dump them off, not that that's the way we handle it, but I'm sure that's how it feels to this cat. So if we could have someone come in and do the initial check, do the shots, we could potentially do it faster. COVID was one of the things that slowed us down, because obviously appointments were at a premium. And because we have sort of a controlled population, we were kind of laying back, knowing that people have to get their own animals in for their rabies shots, their yearly vaccinations and their checkups. So we waited our turn, as it were. But if we could arrange something like that, then yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Okay. Drew, you're on.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
All right.
Zoning out.
Long.
All right. Okay, so moving on to DC Frazier for the financials.
Yeah, can you guys see that on your screen?
Looks
Yes.
beautiful.
All right. Let me see if I can do this myself. So, sorry, I'm trying to move some things around so I can see. The revenue and the expenses are both down, which is where we've been trending all year, mainly due to COVID. I'll show you on the right-hand side here. That's the percentage of the budget that we've either used or obtained for revenues. The first part here is revenues. We budgeted for 107,000 roughly in revenue. We've taken in about 26,000 of this so far. So we've taken in about 24% of what we budgeted for. Most of these are through donations that are directly through the animal shelter or some through the treasurer. Our expenses are also down. Budgeted for $107,000 in expenses, and we've only spent about 36% of that budget to this point. So we're trending down in both categories. We're still going to have a little bit of a budget shortfall at the end of the year here of roughly about 11%. We'll spend 11% more at this point than we'll bring in.
What's lending the shortfall if we're trending down on expense?
Because although we're trending down in expense, we've spent 39% of our budget. We've only taken in 24%.
Okay.
If we would equal those out, we wouldn't be trending. We wouldn't have a shortfall.
Got it. Okay.
Questions? And I just want to point out the city right now is in budget meetings for the year coming up here. So hopefully at next meeting, Commissioner Douglas or myself will have some stuff to share on the new budget.
Okay. Do you need any input from, I mean, I guess if you need any representation from the committee, let us know, but I think you guys have that covered, but if there's any help that we can be of.
Cool, thanks. That's my report.
Thanks, DC. All right, moving on to unfinished business, donations and fundraising. I don't know if there's anything additional we want to cover on volunteer process and procedure for getting volunteers engaged.
Well, do I have to hit the button? Oh,
We
there
can hear you, Eileen.
Okay. I've been thinking a lot about number one, your can donation idea, Drew. I know it's a messy project, but I think that's something that we could probably do in May or when, the parks are open, and see if we can target certain parks and have containers and one or two people monitor those and collect those cans and take them in. I know we might have to have procedures or something like that, but I'm not great on that. I just like to wing it. But that's something that we could do or consider in the future, I think.
And I think that's something that would be a great foundation for a potential like Eagle Scout type project or.
Yeah, if you do the Eagle Scouts and like we have what is called a neighborhood website, and it's in my subdivision, and it's a lot easy to get those people to collect their cans and bring it down to my house. That's not a problem, even if it brings $30-40 a week. That would be something that we don't have at present. As I been thinking about it, a little bit counts here and there. What was the other thing I was thinking of too? Oh, when I do a garage sale, usually April or May, and I have about 5 households that come here. And I usually donate all my monies to the animal shelter. And I also put out a donation box and I get a lot of money for the shelter that way. So I think if some of the people that have sent in their applications to Liz Crampton, if they want to do events, if we could reach out to those people to have garage sales, because people are wanting to get rid of a lot of stuff now that they are coming out of COVID. So that's something to think about. The other thing is that when I collect the donations, I haven't been able to because I have been limited in, well, I've just been limited. I've lost my mobility. And so I had to have an operation. So I haven't been out for about 2.5 months. So that's why I haven't put any monies into the city or anything like that. It's because I haven't been out to collect it.
Yeah, no,
So that'll come.
totally understandable.
That'll come.
Are you recovering better or recovering?
Yeah, I'm 10 days out, but I'm doing all right. Can't complain.
Excellent to hear.
Can
Yeah.
can I do a little additional thing regarding the garage sale?
Sure.
My husband and I have been sort of not cleaning out the house, but just downsizing the stuff that we have from our past, like collections of stuff, and putting it on the marketplace and making some decent money on it. And I'm certainly willing to put a percentage of that towards the animal shelter. And I'm just wondering if we could have a collective garage sale and put it out there that if people do that, raise funds for the animal shelter through their own marketplace garage sales, maybe that would help us smidge.
That's a good idea. Do we,
It's great advertising.
does the city,
Yes.
does the city have like a garage sale weekend or not really? Or,
They used to. Actually, it was done through the Chamber of Commerce,
okay.
and they don't do that anymore.
Could the animal shelter say like, hey, this is a animal shelter garage sale weekend, please donate a portion of your proceeds to the animal shelter, and we can kind of market it as a way to, spring clean. I don't know,
I have no idea, but I'm willing to send a check from what we've done.
because oh, go ahead, Liz.
I've seen a couple things on Facebook, like the Royal Oak groups. There's like 5 of them, but one of them did try to plan a community garage sale. I don't know the date, but I do know there's a group of people trying to get a community garage sale together.
Do you know what group was it? Or was it just regular citizens or?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, there's like 5 of them. It's hard to know. It's hard to know what group's doing what. I'm sure we could find it doing a search. But
Yeah, or maybe we just work with gosh, what's her name? Who runs all the pages? Joe Davids, Judy David.
Judy Davis.
Judy
And
Davids,
maybe
yeah.
we can just declare a weekend is the Royal Oak Animal Shelter. Bless you.
Bless you.
Declare a weekend a Royal Oak Animal Shelter garage sale weekend or whatever we want to call it, and just see what happens. I mean, I don't know what our expectations would be, but
Jody, can we just have it all over at the animal shelter?
Ha! Oh, I'm sorry. Was that loud?
Just
Now
wanted
I'm
to
muting.
make sure if you were listening.
Oh, I'm listening.
So Jody, what you're saying is you'd rather we just drop it all off at your house.
Oh, please,
You can do
Even
that.
better.
please. Just
No,
cram it in my
right.
garage. That would be even better. Thank
We'll
you.
we'll cover the driveway.
We'll
Yeah,
store
yeah.
everything we don't sell.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Win-win.
So, but really people have been cooped up for so long, and there is, even though a lot of people don't have a lot of money, people are still buying stuff. And I'm in shock by the stuff that people want that's mine. Is like, really? So
Yeah,
you never know.
there's a market for anything and everything. So I mean,
Truly.
I like the idea. I mean, like if everybody agrees and there's no major concerns, I mean, do we want to like pick a weekend?
Or we can do it whenever we want and just throw money back to the
Yeah,
shelter.
if you're
No
if you
pressure.
have the opportunity on a certain week and you can do it, I think it's a little bit more spontaneous.
Yeah, well, I
Garage
agree,
sales
but
never are great planned.
maybe what we do is we want to advertise this right in some capacity to try to maybe make people think, oh, I should do a garage sale for my house, and I will also give 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% back to the animal shelter. So we need to communicate this with people to say like, hey, do this. And a lot of people are like, it's going to be springtime soon. A lot of people are wanting to clear stuff out of the house. So I think we might be at like the right time to capitalize on that.
Could we contact Liz Crampton and have her do an email out to all of the volunteers
That would
as a
be nice.
possibility?
As a
No,
start.
that would be really the easiest way, I think.
I guess being spontaneous is great. I'm just wondering if
Pick a month.
yeah, pick a month. That way, like say like, every Saturday this month is a garage sale weekend for the animal shelter. And that way it like kind of causes people to get out and about. Because
Mhm.
if I just do a random garage sale, I gotta market it, you know what I'm saying? And like it gets a little bit more difficult. But if I'm doing a garage sale when maybe some other people are doing a garage sale in Royal Oak, there's gonna be more traffic, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, a garage sale is not necessarily working, but if you put it on Marketplace and just throw it out there online, you're not
Mhm.
having to sit at your garage.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Just that's insanity.
Was that successful for you, Dawn?
Yeah, it was great. People just come and they hand you money and you give them your stuff.
And Liz, yeah, I agree with Dawn. Liz, you can go on in a sec, but I'll just add this. I do agree with that, Dawn, because I put stuff on like Craigslist and Marketplace before, and it goes usually pretty quick if it's halfway decent.
Yep.
So yeah, I can understand how that might be easier for people to do. But again, we're just asking people to cut a check or just give us cash, which I mean, people will do, but I don't know. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more engaging, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty low commitment on our part. Liz, what?
My only input on this is if you do decide to have a garage sale month, please don't have it the same month as our virtual dog walk. That's my only request.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Liz.
Yeah, so I mean, the virtual dog walk month is May, if I'm correct. So
I hope so. We'll find out.
let's just do we want to just say April is Royal Oak Animal Shelter garage sale month?
It's still too cold. Oh, if you use Marketplace, it doesn't make any difference, but April is a cold month for a garage sale. I'll tell you, I've done it. I won't.
It doesn't
do
give
an
you a
April
lot of
thing.
time to plan for it
No,
either. You're talking about
June
10
might-
days out.
June might be better.
I think June would be better.
Okay, can
Let's
plan
try
for
for
Plan
June.
for June.
Do you want me to talk to Judy about putting something on the official site or not?
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Can that wait though until after the virtual dog walk stuff? Because I
think
know
so. I
Well,
think,
Not to create overlap.
Well, no, just so we don't overload Judy with animal shelter projects, can we do it like in order of when things are coming up? So
Sure.
could we wait a little bit to put in that request to ensure that Dawn, Travis, and my items are taken care of first, please?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, anything else, or can we go to the next agenda item?
Aye.
Next on our list is the virtual dog walk event.
Well, speaking of the virtual dog walk,
How timely.
actually, we've made some progress.
Did everybody
And-
get a chance to review the proposal that I sent out?
yes.
Okay, one
Yeah.
person did.
What? I
I-
did.
I
I
thought it
don't
was
think
pretty
I
well organized.
saw anything from you. I saw the Memorial Day parade thing, but I don't,
It's fine. I had responded to Drew's email with
I might have missed it if it
That's
was.
It was easy to miss
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Travis, you were part of it,
for
so,
me.
and you had a big
Never
part.
mind. I have my piece covered.
Good, we want to see it. So do you want me to just sort of zip through the thing? Okay, so we're going to do a virtual dog walk where the city of Royal Oak, May 1 through May 31st. And the why is to raise funds to offset the cost of medical expenses and to increase the digital visibility and interaction with supporters and followers of the shelter on Facebook. So how we're going to do the virtual attendees purchase the virtual dog walk shirt ticket from Custom Ink. And that's where Travis stepped in and he contacted Judy Davis. Do you happen to have a picture of the drawing for the t-shirt?
I think I'm next on the agenda, so I'll let you finish first. and
Okay,
then-
okay, all right. Well, he is part of this because the shirt is part of the dog walk. So shirt design and custom management will be handled by Travis and Judy Davids. Shirt sales will begin from April 1 through April 30th. We're going to be really stretched on that date because we have to get that in. Liz will work with Jody to create Facebook event for the virtual dog walk. Event post will contain details on how to participate, description and pictures of the raffle prizes and how to earn multiple entries. Liz and I were working with Judy Davis to create an event flyer that can be shared on Facebook, which will also be part of what Travis is doing since he's going to be doing the logo for the event. And then during the month of May, the attendees will be wearing their shirt, which is the ticket, while walking their pet, walking on a treadmill and or while out and about the community. So they could post pictures, selfies, whatever they want to do. And then each post with the hashtag is an entry to the raffle. On June 1, Liz and I will draw for winners of the raffle prizes. Winners will be contacted. And so Liz and I bundled the prizes it'll be in groupings of large winnings down to single small prizes. And I didn't count up how many there actually were. But I'm going to say that there are probably about 20, 25 groups of prizes. So then,
There are quite a bit.
I'm sorry again.
There are quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was interesting trying to group them. But anyway, so Liz and I will contact the donors of and furball volunteers who assisted in collecting the above items to notify them that they will be used for the dog walk raffle and to check on expiration dates of gift certificates, which we've already done. And so we're headed towards the dog walk, but we will really need to know about this shirt design because we're going to have to get that in because part of Custom Ink is you have to give them a commitment of number of t-shirts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yes.
Okay.
So
So based on that, I understand Travis has a part in this too.
yes.
We can let him talk about his work in just a second.
Sure.
Based on this proposal, what do you all think? Do we have any blind spots? Do we agree? Does it sound like a doable? Go ahead, Travis.
I don't remember having a minimum commitment of shirts the last time we did that. Do you
I
remember
didn't
how many
either.
that is?
I thought there was. With custom ink, you've got to say how many sort of kind of, are you going to have 20? You're going to have 30 shirts? You know,
Oh, I
and they
didn't
may have
know that.
changed since 2 years ago. I don't know. I have not talked to them.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming we must have made our quota last time then, if I'm not
Right.
recalling any of this.
Right.
Okay.
Out of the way.
And given the design that you and I talked about, I would not feel uncomfortable ordering more than we would use because of the design.
But I don't
Who would
think
front the
we
money?
have the option to order them. They're ordered,
I'll front the money. I'm
Oh.
not worried about that.
but no, I don't think that that's the way the custom ink one works. The custom ink one, each person orders them, pays for it and the shipping, and it's shipped to them. I don't think we've ordered in quantities before, because I think that's why Judy uses custom ink, is because it's more of an on-demand kind of thing.
No,
Like,
I agree with you there, but I thought we had to have a minimum number.
no, I believe with
I
custom
thought
ink
we did.
I think that was the other one that was before custom ink. I think had to have a certain number.
Okay, all right.
I
I mean,
thought custom ink was just like a on-demand thing, or else had a very low number that we knew we would get. I don't recall it being a thing.
I would rather be wrong than be right.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, I mean, either way, if we do have to order a quantity or pay a minimum, you know,
Sure.
I'm fine helping with that as well. I don't mind. So, okay.
But with the design that you and I discussed, it would not hurt for us to have extra.
No, sure.
So,
It looks like Ashley unmuted. Did you want to?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, I was looking through the list here, and I know that some of these items came from the old event that we weren't able to do. I still
Right.
have, and I don't know if we can use it, I still have the bourbon basket I put together. It's got like really nice stuff, but obviously we would need to check ID before we handed that off.
my husband would bid on that.
Okay, well, it's there if you want to add it to the prizes.
We'll
because
add it.
sitting
It's a
there.
bourbon basket.
Well,
Yeah, it's got like bourbon, specialty cherries, bitters, like a whole thing. So
Like a Harry and David.
Can we bid early?
And
hold on a second, guys. There's no bidding. That's hold on. Listen.
here's the thing.
It's a
It's been
raffle.
sitting for almost 2 years, so it's even far
Even
better.
better.
it's aged
Yeah.
at this point.
I'm just
I'd
putting
say-
pedometers on my dogs. I don't walk them. They go in the backyard. So I put a pedometer on each of them and I'm getting my numbers.
So, in order to make this as easy as possible, we were
Yeah.
just gonna draw names and give them the prize that we drew it for.
Exactly.
People were not gonna make requests per prizes. So this
No.
could raise some issues. Say someone's sober and we called them to give them a basket full of booze. So I just want to throw that out there. That
Well,
may not be the best idea.
We'll just hold off, and I'll either drink it or store it for the time being.
I
But
can't
yeah,
believe we made it this far.
we have like, don't tell any. I mean, this is all public, but my husband has probably like 100 and some bottles of bourbon in our house. So
Gotcha.
Wow. I feel like an underachiever here. Jeez.
We can also use that as like a separate raffle prize for something else.
yeah,
too,
I mean,
you know.
it's here when you guys want
Because
it.
it's a cool thing, and it might be something we could even just put, out there in a Facebook group or something, raffling off this for the animal shelter. Take a picture of it.
And remember, Drew was talking about doing some sort of silent auction. So I also wanted to bring that up. We don't have to have all these prize categories. We could limit it to like 12 and kind of clean out some of the
Yeah,
stuff
right.
that Dawn and I have
Right.
and save some stuff for, other plans like Drew's idea. So, I mean, we have some options here.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about, Liz, talking about doing that idea more towards like the fall, I think, when it was
Yeah.
more possibly in person.
Right. I mean, it's a couple more months storing the stuff in my attic.
Yeah. It made it this far.
Right. So just something to consider. Go ahead, Travis.
I'm just looking at the list, and are the New Year's headbands really a thing, or are you guys just cleaning out your attics?
No. These were things from
Oh,
me
okay.
that
All right.
Dodie gave me in a box.
Some of the stuff just seems kind of random.
I got them
so
from
thought-
somebody else. Don't pin this back.
No,
on me.
these like Pet Supplies Plus. It was part
Oh,
of
okay.
their,
donations.
no, these are really, really, truly, they're headbands that say Happy New Year, but they're doggy. types
Oh,
of-
they're for dogs.
Yes.
I thought they
I
were.
had a
like the ones
yeah. I had a
No.
friend who worked at
Travis.
Petco. I had a friend who worked at Petco, and every time they'd change over their stuff, they donate boxes and boxes of stuff to the shelter.
Oh, that's
you know.
really cool. All
Okay,
right.
yeah. I know
All of
everybody.
this stuff is about animals. So, yes. In my basement.
Is there any other feedback on the proposal?
I think we're past the proposal. We're past the t-shirts and we should be on Memorial Day.
I mean, you skipped a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
But-
we did. We need
but
to talk to.
Honestly, all seriousness, we would need to vote if we're actually going to go through with this. So
Yeah, I
that's what I'm
Oh,
trying to
we
move
should
us.
vote on
That's
it.
what I'm trying to move us to. Are we doing this or not? And if
Are
we're
you
doing it,
making a
are we
motion
doing
then?
it? And if we're doing it, are we doing it in the way that's proposed in what Dawn and I created? That's my ask. So is there a motion?
I make a motion that we proceed with the proposed plan.
I would second that motion. I don't have an issue with anything outlined in the proposal.
Thank you. So then technically we probably should have went into discussion at this point, but that's fine. Jody, what's up?
Yeah, so a question about that then. Do you have an app that you want to use, or do you want to use whatever app people tend to use, or?
What I was thinking was, and so what I was thinking was that we weren't going to track steps taken. It's really
Okay.
about the social media interaction. So it's about
Perfect.
someone
Perfect.
gets one raffle ticket when they buy the shirt, and then they can earn additional raffle tickets by posting pictures of themselves or their dog or their cat or whoever and tagging the Royal Oak Animal Shelter between the start and the end of the month. And for us, in terms of tracking, we figured that's easy because you can search hashtags on Facebook. So we can search it
Right.
at the end of the month, count them up, and be good to go. So I think
Perfect.
if we were tracking steps and mileage and stuff, it would just get too tedious for what we're.
Yeah, no, I agree. But so circling back to the Rescue Walk app, if you want, I won't do that rollout separately, but it could be listed as part of this if anybody wants to track their steps for their own edification and potentially to bring some extra money into the shelter. You know, just enrolling, what's the word I want? Just signing up to do the walk is going to get them the opportunity to win. But if they want to do a little extra because they do walk and they want to track it themselves, if you want to add that into the information, it's available and we'll already benefit from it.
That sounds
Joey, you're talking about the rescue walk?
Rescue Walk, yeah.
Well, okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Travis.
So
Is that rescue walk, is it a time-based thing? Like, is it only through certain days, or is that something somebody could use all summer?
It's ongoing as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's again, not anything I use,
Sure.
but it's through Best Friends. It's just RESQ Walk, RESQ
Okay.
Walk,
So if
Rescue Walk.
somebody, if we just put a mention of it in the advertising that we
Yeah.
do for this, somebody could potentially use it all season and it would.
Exactly. And anytime
Okay.
they use it, supposedly we get something. Again, I need to do more research. I don't know what exactly.
All right.
Something.
So do we need to do we need to do a vote, or are we all, or are we
No, I think we need to do a roll call vote.
Okay. So I guess I'll start this. So I vote yes in support of the proposal that Liz outlined.
Yes,
Eileen, Travis,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Think we're good.
Ashley?
Ashley,
Ashley, sorry. I think we got a yes out too. So I think we're all yes. Thanks.
All right, Dawn and I will get to work.
Okay, and just as a sidebar, because I'm looking at, so Travis, are we doing t-shirt sale or are we good?
No, I'm next on the list. I have a design we have to make a decision on. Hang on.
While Travis is pulling this up, I'll just quickly mention this. Judy did say 100th anniversary for Royal Oak. They're planning for the fall. God willing that we can open everything up. So we should, I think, march towards that for doing something as a part of that event.
These are so cute, Travis.
Well, I didn't do them. Jennifer that works for this city, I believe she's in the engineering department. She draws the Romy designs. And to make it easy on her and her real job workload, we wanted to go with something that she was already familiar with or something she already had. And, she was busy. So trying to, I didn't want to burden her with our stuff. So Dawn and I had a quick conversation about maybe using the same Romy that we did last time. So if you look at your shirt from 2019, this Romy character should look somewhat familiar. And so I sent her a picture of it and I said, how about this same Romy from last time, just add a mask and put the Centennial Royal Oak logo on it. So these were the two drawings that I got back from her maybe like Tuesday. And she said that she did the two different ones so that we could decide. And I can let her know tomorrow on our decision. And she said she can make an ink one out of it and then also a digital copy, which is, I'm sure, what Judy would need to do the t-shirt ordering. So these are our options.
so can she put the 100 year, I see the Royal Oak insignia, but I don't see that it's a centennial type of stamp or.
I'm sure if we
Thing.
asked her, she could. So it looks like the logo. I think these are just rough pencil sketches. So
What I'm thinking is that if people want to buy a t-shirt to recognize the centennial as well, that they could do that and the money could go towards the shelter.
So they
Dawn,
did
I think
mention that they wanted to be careful to not have it look like the animal shelter's centennial.
I got that.
The cities.
Understand.
So
Yeah,
maybe that's why the dates aren't on there. I'm not sure, but I
Sure.
can ask about that.
I think they're both excellent. The only thing I'll add is I really do like that the bottom one says Royal Oak above Animal Shelter.
Yes.
I mean, but beyond that, I think they're both killer. I would pick either of them
Yeah.
or both.
I prefer the bottom one as well, just because
Mhm. That looks like the last one.
Same.
it looks like a race kind of a thing or a walk.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like I'm done,
The bottom, the upper one's chilling.
yeah.
For clarification, Travis, the top one is A, the bottom one is B. And can we have a vote for the bottom B?
Are you making a motion?
I guess so. I move that we vote, I make a motion that we vote on the animal shelter t-shirt drawing B.
I'll second it.
All right. So I vote in favor of B. Travis,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Eileen,
Yes.
Ashley.
Yes.
All right. I guess we're all in favor of design B.
Okay.
Thanks, Travis.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So in terms of timing, Travis, what do we do?
So are we
What
wanting
am I
these
trying to
go,
say? Go
are
ahead.
we wanting these to go live April 1st? That gives a whole month of ordering before the event.
Yes,
But
please.
that's only a week to get that design
That's the
to
thing.
custom ink. Yeah.
Well, how about we shoot for April 1st, but take what we can get, you know, if
Okay.
it's not
Yeah.
till April 5th or April 7th, I mean, it is what it is, so.
Sure.
I'll email her tomorrow, tell her we like option B and ask her if the ears can be put on the mask. And I don't know how much more she would have to do to make it digital ready and make it in ink. I'm not an artist. I'm kind of looking at somebody who knows about art, who's probably, Jody, you're more familiar with art than I am.
Yeah, my guess would be that because it's the same, basically the same rendering that we used on the last t-shirts, she probably already has that digitally. So if she
Okay.
just has to tweak it to add the mask and the banner,
Yeah,
then
So
it
probably
may
not a
be a
lot of
lot
time.
easier.
okay.
Yeah, it may be a lot easier for her too. So
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll email her first thing in the morning.
Hi, animals.
Then. Hey,
hi, Mike.
Okay,
All right,
grants,
next
we're-
item.
grants.
Didn't we just skip parade?
Yeah,
You did.
right now.
Oh, pardon me, yes, memorial.
So is this something that we wanted to participate in? I know I'm out of town, so I don't really have much of a stake on this one, I guess.
I'm neutral.
Would you say, Liz?
I'm very neutral. I don't know if I'll be in town or not, but
Dawn, what's your vote? What's your
I
stake?
will not be in town.
Eileen?
Well, I can't participate. I know that.
Okay.
for a fact.
Ashley?
I'll be out of town.
Travis?
I cannot participate.
Okay, so I think we just made our decision there.
That's it.
hold on though. That's just us. I mean, this is something that Jody and the shelter staff of the city
Yeah.
could do.
Well, I don't know that the staff in the city could man it, but we do have the banner. So if nothing else, we could offer that up to Judy if they have people who want to carry banners, because not everybody has a presence necessarily. So we could also reach out to Liz about that, and Liz Rampton, if she's got volunteers who want to carry the banner and take their dogs as they've done in the past, we can offer it up. And I guess maybe we play that one by ear, see if we get response. But yeah, the staff I know is not going to have the ability to, I mean, they may join in, but it's not something that we've got the time that we can organize it and
That's fair.
do it.
So
Yeah.
I will respond accordingly. So consider it taken care of.
So do you, Jody, did you want me to reach out to Liz or were you to Liz Crampton?
Either way, either you can, or Liz can, or I can.
Okay.
Whatever
If
works.
there's any volunteers or
Yeah.
adopters, I guess, who want to participate and walk their dogs.
Well, now it sounds like we're taking a completely different route. What I was hearing Jody saying was that, you know, they're scaling back the parade and they may allow 2 people to carry a banner. But what I'm hearing you say, Drew, is now we're recruiting people to walk their dogs. So what are we?
Oh, I thought that was the whole point of reaching out to Liz. Sorry if I misinterpreted that.
Probably what I'll do is reach out to Liz, and if she wants to reach out to Judy to get clarification on what they're doing, then she can go ahead. She's got the emails from the last couple of years.
Okay.
She can go ahead and put out a blast and see if she gets anything based upon her discussion with Judy.
Okay.
Cool.
All
So
right.
then I'm not going to respond to this at all because it was a mass email. So it's not like they're waiting just for me to respond. So thank you.
Works. All right. Grants. Eileen, I think did you have something that you wanted to talk about here? Because,
No, I was just trying to keep you on track.
oh, okay. Thanks. Does anybody have any thoughts on grants? I take the silence as we can move on to new business. All right. Donations and fundraising.
I think I covered that in the sense of donations that I give to the shelter from Market Way, etc. Those are. Where did you go?
I'm right here. I'm turning a light on. All right.
Drew, so did you keep this bullet on here because you wanted to continue some of the conversations we were having before, like about the spreadsheet?
I kept it on here.
What was the
I
thought?
kept it on here because historically these were topics that we discussed regularly. Whether if we had a lead or not, I don't know if we need to have leads for these discussion points in the future.
Is there any new donation or fundraising ideas? I think that's why it's here. It's under new business. Is there
I think-
anybody who has any ideas or anything to bring to the table on this?
I think we covered that earlier when we talked about the pop cans.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of discussed those the last couple meetings.
Yeah,
What I will just reiterate and just share for everyone in the chat is the Google Drive, if you do have an idea, that we can kind of start planning it and figuring out when we want to slot it into the year. Because it sounds like the next month or two will probably be pretty preoccupied. So if it's a bigger fundraising event that we need to discuss as a group, we probably should start mapping out where it should fit in the calendar year. All right, looking at the agenda, I think is there anything else we need to discuss with events? I mean, I think we're pretty well covered. Ditto for grants, and then if everybody's good, I guess we can then move along to volunteer recognition.
yes, I'd like to have some closure on that. I think DC, is there a possibility of going off of Zoom sometime soon for to have that recognition done outside of Zoom, like
Not,
at the new city hall?
not in the near future. And the problem they have right now, it just came up at one of our last meetings, is there's still limitations on gatherings for things like that. And
Okay,
if they have a city commission meeting and more than 25 people show up, they have to cancel the entire meeting. So
okay,
they're going to keep going on Zoom right now until they get further clarification or, gatherings are expanded.
okay.
There's no time frame. It could be next month. It could be,
That's all I want to know.
could be September.
That's all I want to know. Next meeting?
Actually, I got one real quick thing if we to
Okay,
add.
go ahead, DC.
I don't know if anybody's heard about this, but it's been about a year in the making, but Jody and I were approached, was probably about a year ago, Jody, maybe a little bit more than a year ago, and been working with the owners of Matthews Hargraves. They have interest in our animal shelter and they want to do a swap potentially of buildings that they own and swap for the animal shelter. And we've been going back and forth, and part of the deal is they're going to potentially build it out and everything at their cost. We are into the
That's
phase
awesome.
where a design has been made at this point, and a builder is pricing it out right now. And starting in April, Hargraves is going to go through the task of getting it funded, either through some community donations of partners they have or fundraisers that they're going to put on. So we're hoping in the next year to have a brand new animal shelter possibly.
That is
Wow,
That's so
wonderful.
great.
fun.
Do we have a rough idea where the location will be?
Right next door. It's
Oh,
on Bel Air and Edgeworth.
It's where the Xerox people are.
Yeah, it's next door to them.
Yep.
okay.
My question to you, Mike, is this going in, is the public going to be alerted to this? Or is this just going to take place?
Well, this is a public meeting.
This is a public meeting.
Well, I know this is a public meeting, but how many people
Like
are
a new-
plugged into
Like
that?
a news blaster, like a announcement.
Yes, yes,
When it's official and it's finalized,
yes.
there's been no deal on paper right now. It's been in the concept stages, but it's we didn't say anything early on because when it first happened, it was more of a let's kick this kick this
Yeah,
down,
it's been in the works for a while, I know.
see what happens. And then COVID hit, and that's
To
put a
block
damper on things. And, but things are progressing well. I'm not necessarily the person that does the public blast on this, but once we get something finalized and start moving, but this is something that's not necessarily, there's no city money going into this or anything like that. It's all through donations and through,
Is it going to be privately funded
correct. It'll be funded.
and privately run?
We're
The
gonna
build out. No, the build out is going to be privately funded.
Yeah.
Correct?
yes. No,
Yeah.
Jody will
It's
still
still
be
going to be run by the city, the police department?
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Jody will still be
Okay.
the animal shelter, and the police department will still oversee it.
Oh, okay.
The foundation will be the same. It'll just be in a new building that's not going to cost the city any money.
Oh, okay. So may I ask just how would you like this phrased in the minutes?
That we're looking at the potential of getting a
Okay,
new animal shelter and more to come.
okay.
Exciting.
you.
news. Okay.
New animal shelter being donated, or I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Well, if there's any additional inputs on that in the future, just give me a heads up and we can put them in the agenda. If that's needed, or we can just leave it as just, miscellaneous or whatever.
It's just nice to see it to this point because there's been a lot of meetings. Jody and I have sat through a lot of Zoom and in-person meetings over the last year for this thing. So
Well, that's excellent to hear. Awesome news.
Thanks for making time to do that before you retire.
Yes.
yeah, I'm hoping it's done before I retire. So
Maybe we can name it after you.
no,
There you
He's
go.
like, I'm out.
I'm out.
DC's place.
Sure, Jody's done the legwork. I'm just a guy.
All right. Well, excellent news. If is there any other additional thoughts, comments before we conclude the meeting? Next meeting would be April 15th, 7 p.m. Zoom as always.
Will somebody move to adjourn the meeting?
I'll second that.
Okay.
All right. Motion to adjourn the meeting. Yes. Dawn,
Have a great week.
Trev.
Month.
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Ashley,
Yes.
Eileen.
Yes.
It looks like we concluded. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. See everybody
next
in
month.
April. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.